Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargav. Welcome to Tidbits on Business and Finance with me. As one COVID wave after another and one new variant after another of this deadly virus hits the world, this pandemic is inflicting a huge human calamity like never before. As one wave follows another, its end is nowhere in sight. This mega crisis also coincides with the advance and power of technology like what we have never seen before. See how a collaboration of medical and pharma technology has produced vaccines for the virus in the shortest possible time. And see how digital and related technology has facilitated formidable alternates such as e-commerce, work from home, etc., as people remain indoors in order to avoid infections. These are not quite short-term responses that will go away after the pandemic is over. A number of technological innovations and advances in the way we live and in the way we earn our living, which have been deployed in the battle against COVID, are proving to be irreversible. That means that post-COVID and whenever that happens, the world will be a different place in terms of living and also in terms of livelihood. Those trends and technologies that have particularly made living and livelihood more easier, more better, and more cost efficient are here to stay for sure. Such developments tend to improve our quality of life and are always welcome. After all, this is what human progress is all about. A senior partner at McKinsey and Company in a recent paper spoke of some trends that he thinks will continue in the post-COVID scenario. Let us discuss those trends today. The first trend that he spots is to do with the pace of innovations and inventions. With traditional employment having been totally disrupted and necessity being the mother of all inventions, innovation to adapt and to live in the change scenario has shot up. McKinsey says that the number of patents granted in 2020 were twice of those that were granted in 2019. And as we innovate to adapt to a change scenario, these kind of innovations will continue. It says that this also has to do with the compulsions of work from home. McKinsey interestingly recalls that the London plague in the 17th century was the first instance when sickness enforced the practice of work from home as people were forced to confine themselves at home. It says that due to the plague, the British universities were shut down. The University of Cambridge too sent its students home, and one of the students who happened to have been sent home was Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton sat in his garden at home and watched the apple fall to discover the concept of gravity. This was a work from home situation. There was incidentally no online education for students then, but McKinsey rightly points out that perhaps the London plague was the first work from home situation that we know. The second trend has to do with consumer behavior. E-commerce has gone up to 5 times in various sectors, thus boosting digital innovation manifold, such that we have seen 10 years of innovation, it says, in just 3 months. That's the pace that has gone up. McKinsey says that advancements in e-commerce, e-grocery, and virtual healthcare will not turn back. They have become the new norm. E-commerce will see a greater shift towards automation, and there will be an increase in investments and jobs in sectors like delivery, transportation, warehousing, and those activities which are related to e-commerce. The greatest shift towards e-commerce has been in the lower income groups who have been affected the most by the pandemic, and they will now not get back to their old ways, says McKinsey. Retail and hospitality have been severely affected, and McKinsey says that they are unlikely to bounce back. It says, for example, in the US, while 4.3 million jobs will be lost in customer and food service jobs, however, it points out only 8 lakh jobs will be added back in transportation, thus indicating greater employment displacement. The sectors where jobs are being lost are retail in a big way. It will therefore take years to fill the malls back to where they were during the pre-COVID times. McKinsey, however, says that live entertainment will be back and so will be traditional campus education, since remote education to McKinsey does not look great. Well, that is good news for theatres, sports, schools and colleges. The next trend, it says, is that COVID has led to much greater awareness about environment and climate change, and that it is likely to provide an annual investment opportunity of about $3.5 trillion in the energy infrastructure sector alone. With technological advancements, the price of technology and capital goods in this domain have gone down substantially, making such investments eminently viable and will obviously continue to take place, and they will increase at a rapid pace. The fourth trend, it says, is that changes in the healthcare sector are here to stay. McKinsey envisages a healthcare revolution which includes that telehealth will replace personal visits to the doctors, and that while $180 billion have been invested in research for vaccines so far, it says that this segment will continue to see sustained investments. With the experience of this public health crisis, we think that perhaps the governments will increase expenditure on public healthcare and ramping up of such infrastructure. There is also likely to be a greater private sector investment in the healthcare sector, as we see that the returns in this sector are getting better. A very pertinent and interesting observation of McKinsey is that the government has been the lender, the payer, and the owner of the last resort, which is how it is in any national calamity of this enormity. After all, the government has to bail the nation out. With government involvement always comes increased government scrutiny, and it soon transforms itself into more regulations, more laws and more compliances, which do not terminate at the end of the crisis or at the end of the pandemic. Once the government encroaches upon our rights and liberties, it rarely recedes. Its increased meddling in our lives will thus continue, which is the next trend that McKinsey spots. To reiterate, a law once made and enforced by the government tends to continue to torment us even if it is no longer relevant or applicable. Thus, the government meddling in our lives and livelihood will continue, being the price that it extracts from us for bailing the nation out of a crisis, though we do not quite fully agree that it has really put in all the effort that is needed, all the money that is needed in order to bail the country out of this crisis. The next, there has been a major shift in corporate portfolios, and that will continue. The market share and sales of the top 20 global corporates, according to McKinsey, shot up and added $240 billion of profits to their already bulging bottom lines. On the other hand, the bottom 20 corporates have lost about $405 billion. The shift in profits is to the bigger ones. That's a huge buildup of inequality between the big and the small corporates, and this trend, it says, is here to stay. Such inequalities of income and wealth truly never do diminish, and the inequality in the coming years will only grow bigger. The struggling MSME sector will only continue to suffer further. The McKinsey partner then says that due to geopolitics friction, primarily between the US and China, there will be a major shift in supply chains worldwide. These changes in supply chains do not happen easily and quickly, and they take many years to fructify, and the estimate is that 25% of global supply chains will relocate in 5 years. While this shift in supply chains has little to do with COVID, the global ire against China for having hushed up the COVID outbreak in Wuhan has only accelerated the shifting of these supply chains. It finally says that the global air travel will not return to normal until 2024. Business air travel will be slower, and that 20% of air travel may never just return, says McKinsey. That is certainly bad news for the capital intensive airline industry and all those who are associated with it. Further, it says that while revenge shopping may come, revenge tourism may just not come, and that's not the best of news for the tourism sector. These are the trends in our lives and livelihood, whether good or bad, that McKinsey thinks are likely to continue and will not end along with the pandemic. If we talk about economic trends with a specific reference to India, then to us it's a disturbing scenario. The trends and the macros that will continue to linger on in India for years together include rising joblessness, rising inflation, increasing inequalities, increasing debt defaults and bankruptcies, rising poverty, and of course, rising fiscal deficit. While all these will continue to rise, what will remain low, unfortunately, is consumer demand, household savings, economic growth in India, fresh investments in India, government revenue, and overall public confidence. And the economic challenges and deterioration that we just mentioned will continue for an even longer period if the Indian government remains in a state of denial, which it seems to be at present. That needs to stop. This is Akhilesh Bhargav signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.